And we are live. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the second episode of the now English spoken Crypthusiasts episode. Today, very special day, we are going to do the Christmas special, as you guys can see on the funny hats. So yeah, let's hop on straight into it. Plenty of things have been going on in the market. Well, before that, the entire FTX crash, etc. The market was actually quite boring. But then FTX occurred, and well, the crypto markets are in full swing. Well, let's just say the crypto communities are in uproar because, from what I could tell, where it concerns market sentiment, well, it is still quite boring. I think you agree with me there, Stan?
Yes. Besides the market crash of FTX and the FUD that's going around all the other exchanges, markets movement is just sideways and boring. A small dip here, a little bit of a pump there, but that's all. There's nothing much happening at the moment.
It's indeed. So there is the entire FTX crash debacle which is occurring, and well, it sparked a literal witch hunt where it concerns a variety of exchanges. Well, naturally, FTX went down, and suddenly public opinion took almost all crypto exchanges straight into the crosshairs of scrutiny. So, who passed the review in the last couple of weeks? I've been 2 weeks on honeymoon. I've been following it from more or less afar, I'm going to say. But I know quite a few did pass the review. I believe Crypto.com was once heavily being criticized. There were a few others as well. Currently, it's Binance. We will be getting deeper into that one. And now my mind is suddenly going blank. That's problematic. No, Coinbase as well had some scrutiny, but they survived more or less.
Yes, the
Um,
CEO of Coinbase went online on Twitter, I think, same as Crypto.com's CEO, to talk to the community and say what's what and show some figures. That cooled down a lot of influencers who were targeting those two exchanges, because that's the things we are seeing now at this moment. Um, that's the thing we are seeing now at this moment. A few influencers start yelling. The herd is following the influencers, and the exchanges need to show them the proof of reserves they are having. Crypto.com showed their proof of reserves, and there was a lot of Shiba Inu token in those reserves. A lot of people were laughing at that, but Shiba Inu and Crypto.com were early adopters of each other,
that's true.
strangely. Shiba.com, hear me out. Shiba Inu tokens were listed very, very, very early on Crypto.com, and a lot of people who were invested in Shiba just parked their tokens there. So it's not a surprise that they are very high up on their list. Then there was a little bit of a scare tactic involving Binance and Gate.io. Binance sent it, Crypto.com and Gate.io, excuse me. Crypto.com did a false transaction to Gate.io and wanted it back. That spooked a lot of people. But stupidly enough, that happened 3 months before all the panic started. So
Yep.
people went deeper into the transactions, went 3 months back, and saw a problem with something that happened 3 months ago. Yeah, after the FTX crash, scam slash hoax, whatever, where Sam Bankman-Fried is now being locked up and is being interrogated, a lot of people are yelling a scam and rug pull to every sex exchange that is around. And frankly, it's too much, beginning to be a bit too much. That's my opinion, of course.
Well, where it concerns my opinion, I know I've got a few controversial ones where I deviate with actually most of the Twitter and crypto communities. First things first, naturally, the crash was a very bad news where it concerns FTX and for the entirety of the crypto market. Agreed. However, I'm not all too shabby where it concerns the public scrutiny which is involved. Mainly by reason, well, it is a very harsh but somewhat kind reminder to not trust centralized exchanges or CEX with your coins. If you buy your cryptocurrency tokens and coins, well, if you're not an active trader, and I do mean active trader as in I trade daily or weekly, it is best to keep your coins and
Yeah,
tokens safely locked up in a hardware wallet in cold storage. Now, another aspect, which I kind of like with this scrutiny, uh, comes down to the proof of reserves which are being introduced. And that's actually, in my opinion, a very healthy movement. By reason, well, I've been in the crypto, I wanted to say crypto Twitter, no, crypto community for quite a long time. And one of the main aspects where it concerns centralized exchanges are their reserves. And from what I did notice, and that's something which already started in 2018, even before with I wanted to say grayscale Bitcoin, no, yeah, grayscale Bitcoin, it has to do with the reserves, mainly the one-on-one backing. And what FTX did uncover was that almost all centralized exchanges have, well, paper Bitcoin in hands. And with that, I do not mean, um, well, paper Bitcoin as in stored in a paper wallet. No, I'm really talking about options or virtual Bitcoin, meaning Bitcoin they do not have but they trade with. And that in itself is a form of leverage, a very dangerous kind of leverage, which implies that there's more being traded than is available, which means that in reality, the market caps you are seeing are in all likeliness overinflated, that it is overvalued. Just because of leverage, by reason more money has been pumped into bitcoins that aren't really there, and that's actually a very slippery slope. And on that account, the proof of reserves, the scrutiny that currently exists, my opinion is actually a very good move. And like most of the crypto community, I do not wish to see other centralized exchanges crashing. However, I am quite happy to see all criticism going on. And that brings me a little bit towards the main theme of the last couple of weeks, and that has to do with the Binance fear, uncertainty, and doubt. Me and Stan in private chat on Telegram had a little conversation about that, and I know our opinions differ greatly at a certain extent. Well, greatly. There are a few conflicting points. Not something that we are going to yell at each other that I know of.
no.
In any case, but myself, I'm going to say that the Binance FUD has a certain amount of truth to it and shouldn't be simply dismissed as FUD. There are things which are shady with Binance which should be taken into account. Myself, and people who follow me on a variety of socials have seen me post, well, quite highly critical opinions where it concerns Binance. And I'm the very first to say I do not trust them for one bit. Um, Variety of reasons for that. Majority of the things have to do with compliance and regulation. By reason since the FTX crash, a lot of people are, let's just say, worshipping CZ, so Zhao from Binance, their CEO, as their big and great savior. Whereas I've been saying for a couple of months already, don't start worshipping people like that. By reason, I have seen things pass by from Binance, and if you take a look at their history in the crypto market, well, things aren't as clean as you might think they are. So yes, then if you've got a variety of opinions, you want to pick in on it.
Yes, I want to pick in on this, no problem. But the things I read on mostly Twitter is people who attack Binance because they don't have the proof of reserves. There was a 3 billion withdrawal on 4 days on Binance.
It's higher.
It's
Currently.
higher, even
It's,
better, even better.
Currently 5 to 6 billion.
Yeah, 5 to 6 billion on withdrawals only on Binance. Everybody got their crypto, no problem. No days on delays, only I think 6 hours was the most I've seen, because
Yeah,
the,
there
the
was
system was a bit overloaded.
certain delays were longer, depending on how much you were withdrawing.
Yes, but that's it. When you're on Binance and it takes longer, they say that on your screen. The delays are approximately hours, but everybody got paid. I invite everybody to go to any other exchange and withdraw $5 billion worth of coins and tokens. I don't think they can process that. No, no way. I've seen exchanges like Kraken. They are around for a long time, but they aren't trading with that amounts of money. Binance is at this moment the biggest centralized exchange around. Binance is, I'm not worshipping CZ, but if you use Binance, it's days and night in difference in UI. The different things you can do on that exchange are way more than every other exchange. I've been with Binance from the vanilla days, and I haven't got any problem with them. Do note, if their reserves are not correct and they are playing with paper Bitcoin, what's the correct English?
For?
Little notes.
Notes?
IOUs, sorry, IOUs. If they use Bitcoin
Loans.
like an IOU, like a lot of normal banks do, yeah, then we have a problem, because they need to back up everything that is being deposited on that exchange, minus the fees they're taking from the trades, of course. This week we had an article. I've seen an article from Mazar or Mauser or
correct.
something like that. And that was involving the auditing process of Binance and 3 other centralized exchanges, Kraken, Gate.io, and Gemini. I'm not sure.
It was Binance, Crypto.com, and Gate.io, so not Kraken.
Not Kraken, okay, whatever. They stopped the auditing on all the exchanges, not only Binance, but if you look on socials, everybody's yelling, oh, Binance and this and Binance. If you're going to dig deep in every exchange, you're gonna encounter problems, probably. If you see what's happening with Gemini at this moment, Gemini is going the same route as FTX, but without the token. I think Gemini has a token, but I don't think they use it as backing, because the problem with FTX was they used FTT token as a backer for value. That was a very wrong move. And Binance has BNB. I don't think they use that as a proof of reserve. Yeah, but that means people are depositing BNB towards the exchange then.
Well, there's a little bit of vague waters, I'm going to say, and how Binance functions. They've got their native stablecoin, BUSD, and they've got
That's
BNB.
not theirs.
BNB has been created to support the Binance chain, but it is also being used as the standard currency in order to develop a variety of tokens on the BSC chain, or the Binance Smart Chain, or the BNB chain. So that's one of the key aspects. How do I know this? Well, a variety of cryptocurrency tokens that I've analyzed did tell me, like, look, if you want to get listed on Binance, you will need to do a deposit in BNB in order to get listed with them. So BNB has a certain use function with Binance, which also implies that a greater part of their assets or the proof of reserves from Binance themselves, well, are backed by BNB, their own native coin they can themselves create, which in my opinion is actually quite shady to start with. So at that point, they are quite similar towards FTX. And then on the other hand, you've got BUSD, Binance USD. I believe in previous episodes we have talked about Binance saying, look, we are going to remove USDC, which is the Coinbase stablecoin, which could be traded on the platform. And they would have been swapping it for BUSD, their very own stablecoin.
Yeah, but
Back then, I was like,
BUSD,
okay, that's negative news for Coinbase. But now, in recent light with the proof of reserves, that's actually a quite weird move. Well, from business point of view, I more or less can understand it, that you are not immediately willing to support your competitors,
no.
but going to make use and swap automatically everything towards your own native stablecoin and your assets backed by your very own produced cryptocurrency, that to me starts to become slightly shady. And at that point, we are entering FTX territory. Yeah.
But the BUSD minting is not from Binance themselves. That's from
No, it
Paxos.
was being done by
Paxos.
Paxos. Yeah.
So all the BUSD on the Ethereum chain and all the other, what was it? Ethereum
It
chain,
was Ethereum
Solana.
chain.
That's Paxos, but
Yeah.
the BUSD on the BSC chain is a bridge from the Ethereum chain or the other chain. So all the BUSD that is circulating is not owned by Binance.
Not officially owned. There are side chains.
Yeah, but that's
I
the
must admit,
same. That's the same that when you were looking at USDC. Yeah, that's
Mhm.
some sort the stable coin of Coinbase, but that's issued by Circle.
That's true. But Circle makes part of etc. 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 There are interconnections which need to be highlighted and which are actually quite important. But for clarity's sake, we might say, yeah, Paxos is the issuer of BUSD, but let's be fair, BUSD belongs within the Binance ecosystem and is attached to it. So if something happens with that stablecoin, it will greatly impact the Binance ecosystem.
Yep.
That's basically where it comes down to it.
Yep.
And naturally, it will impact as well Paxos. And if I'm not mistaken, additional, that's some news that I've seen today with Paxful, which is the exchange of Paxos. Today, I heard the news that they have removed Ethereum from their trading lists by reason that I say, look, Ethereum, since they have transitioned, I'm going to see if I can add it up.
I haven't read
Well,
that. That's a new one.
removes Ethereum by reason they say, look, there it is. I'm going to share my screen. They said, look, since they have transitioned towards proof of stake and no longer support proof of work, talking about Ethereum here, they say it no longer envelops or keeps up the proof of work or the real hard ID behind cryptocurrency. And that's the main reason why they have removed Ethereum. Now, picking in on that with BUSD and Paxos, as Paxful makes part of the global platform from these guys, we might see some other hits going on indirectly towards Binance and naturally towards Ethereum itself. Now, to be entirely honest, I think that these guys from Paxful made actually a very good move. People who follow me, even when we were talking in Dutch, know that I'm not an all too big fan of Ethereum itself, especially since they transitioned towards proof of stake. Now, where it concerns proof of stake, and I hear Stan smiling, I can't see immediately on the screen here. But where it concerns proof of stake, I'm not entirely convinced of it as a valid consensus protocol where it concerns cryptocurrency. Now, I know it works. However, I maintain that the proof of stake consensus protocol opens up the door more easily towards a centralized governance. And you need to be a tad more creative with proof of stake where it concerns governance in order to avoid centralization. And well, quite frankly, Ethereum in the past and even currently has shown to be heavily centralized with their foundation and what's not, and pushing through a variety of updates which actually went against community sentiment. So in itself, I'm quite happy for these guys. I think it's a very good move. However, on the long term, I might see it impacting, well, things and products, so cryptocurrency and platforms associated with them. So do watch out. I do not want to share FUD, but yeah, it's something to take into account. Also, Stan shared something else here.
Yeah, it was
As you do.
involving the topic we were discussing in the beginning of the episode. The problems with paper Bitcoin, the IOUs from exchanges. If you scroll down in this article, they start talking about FTX. And apparently they had 2 million on paper Bitcoins floating around. So the total supply of paper Bitcoin plus paper Bitcoin should have been 23 million. That can never happen, of course, but yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
That's what you
so
get with all that leverage and the futures trading.
I'm going to share the link in the main chat so people
Yep.
can look it up. Yeah, we're, as you can see, not as professional as other live streamers, but we are much more fun.
And we don't care.
Indeed, as you guys could see from the thumbnail. So I'm expecting once we get some popularity, this video might be taken down in the future. Not of our own accord, but yeah, you get my drift. Now, yeah, I'm going to continue with the Binance FUD because it's something hitting close quite home. And well, like I said, I do not want to see central exchanges going down, as it will naturally badly impact the market. However, what I do want to say is you've got two kinds of FUD. One being that it is to FUD for FUD, so that people want to see lower prices where it concerns crypto in order to, well, step into it at lower values,
Yeah.
or people just want to short a variety of companies in order to make more money. And sadly enough, plenty of people are there to such FUD. Me, on the other hand, I'm not going to FUD without decent reason. People who follow me on my socials might have seen that I'm FUDing Binance. However, I do so just to highlight one important aspect. That aspect being, do not place your trust in centralized exchanges. By reason, the majority of them, and even the ones that I'm a fan of, and I'm going to be very clear on this, I am a fan of the centralized exchange Kraken. I do make use of Binance. Both of them I'm quite happy about. However, I will never and I will not start dismissing FUD about them as well. Now, currently, Binance is in the process of public scrutiny. And from what I've noticed from some of my followers and, well, plenty of influencers and shillers, is that Binance is to be uphold as almost something holy. And that's one of the reasons why I made a dedicated tweet on Twitter highlighting and saying, guys, look out. Okay, there's FUD going around, but do not dismiss it as merely fear, uncertainty, and doubt. There is a grain of truth through it. And those are the things that I'm highlighting. That's one of the reasons why I mentioned earlier in this episode about the BNB being used as a backing asset for Binance, of which I'm going to say the reserves they have of it is quite sizable. I've seen a variety of on-chain data and even audit reserves. I've seen whereby a greater part of, and I'm literally talking here about 2 or 3 billion worth of BNB, has been minted out of the blue.
Yeah,
We do
but
not know where it
I would like to
exists.
see proof of that, mate.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest, I need to look slightly deeper into it. However, I do know the articles exist and there exists some photographic proof of the audit reserves. So that's something I do not want to immediately dismiss as mere FUD. The reason such a highlight exists means there is something going on. Furthermore, we have talked about some associations with Gate.io and Crypto.com, and actually also news items reached my ears about Binance prepping up the reserves of Crypto.com themselves when they were in a public scrutiny, and that they said, look, we saw here some on-chain movements, and we saw known Binance wallets prepping up the wallets of Crypto.com, which in itself is kind of weird. Now, from business point of view, I do know Binance has their own debit and credit card, and
Yep.
Crypto.com does as well. What very fewer people know is that both make use of the same platform, mainly that of Crypto.com, meaning Binance makes use of the services of Crypto.com for their very own debit and credit cards. That's lesser known, and that might explain the prepping up. Not so much by reason that Crypto.com is entirely transparent. No, it is actually Binance securing their very own services on which they rely and which are based with Crypto.com. So, business move wise, it is understandable. Reserve wise, that's something entirely different. We start to enter here, well, more or less shady business deals, the moving of money. I have your back, you have mine, etc., etc. And well, Stan can agree with me here. Binance in the past did some other dirty tricks in order to remove competitors.
Yep.
And one of the things I dare say is that they pulled such a move with FTX themselves. Before the FTX crash, Binance started shorting FTT tokens. They did a major sell off, which resulted in an entire cascade of other people's also starting to short FTT tokens, whereby they became in liquidity problems, and then suddenly all the other aspects came floating about, and Sam Bankman-Fried got arrested, etc., etc. People always said Binance is not to blame. They did a big business move. They say, yeah, they didn't trust it. In my opinion, not so much. FTX was a competitor of Binance. And in the past, with even other cryptocurrency, they pulled such other moves. The only difference now is this is major exchange they've well hit straight out of the water instead of smaller cap cryptocurrency. So on that account, I dare say do watch out. And this is another reason why I have a certain distrust towards Binance. We all know they are currently the biggest exchange. But myself, I'm more or less a Bitcoin maximalist, meaning I love decentralization and to be as distributed as it can be. That's one of the reasons why I have an automatic knee hit reaction, where it concerns Binance as them being the biggest exchange. A healthy crypto market has multiple centralized exchanges,
Yes.
meaning that the market is nicely spread out. The second you've got one big one, it implies that, well, that exchange has leverage over the entire market. It means they have the power to start, well, speculating with coins and deciding which ones stay and which ones go out. That's a very dangerous thing to have. And the last couple of weeks, and I dare even say months or even years, I've noticed Binance making big moves, making gradual steps in order to secure a monopoly within the cryptocurrency market. FTX was one of their main competitors. They were quite big in the US. Having them removed opened up the waters for Binance to take their very own place and strengthening their position. Now, business-wise, very solid move. Where it concerns cryptocurrency-wise, and naturally where it concerns regulation and legislation, that's something I do not like to see. Especially, that's also something you guys can easily verify. There exists a WhatsApp group with all CEOs of a variety of exchanges congregating and making agreements with each other. I believe the WhatsApp messages were spilled on Reddit. And well, those WhatsApp messages were about outsing Sam Bankman-Fried from the group and well, destroying FTX themselves in a collaboration with Binance together with Crypto.com and Gate.io. I believe Coinbase was mentioned as well somewhere. So those are shady deals going on. And once more, another reason to start practicing self-custody. If you have something to
Yep.
add, Sam?
Self-custody is key, man. Never leave your funds on the exchange, only when you are a daily trader. And yeah, the entire FTX story has a bitter aftertaste too.
Yeah.
When you saw it all come crashing down, there were no reserves. The reserves were invested into Alameda investing, and
Yeah.
Alameda investing just dropped everything towards a few people, and they just bought buildings, apartments, houses. There were no reserves, and that's the reason why they went insolvent so fast, so fast. Me myself, I had $50 worth of tokens on FTX. I used FTX even. The UI of FTX was almost on par with that of Binance, trading pair wise too. He grew too big and went too greedy. That's what I would say. The thing is, he worked with a team that was very shady, and I can't say for 100% if he knew everything what was happening on his own platform. I've got a sneaky suspicion he didn't know everything. He was more
No,
playing the wealthy good man and look at me and wasn't even looking at his own business, I think.
I do think that he knew exactly what was going on, but FTX had more in common with a privatized central bank speculating with
Yeah,
cryptocurrency than being a real exchange. By reason, everything that came out where it concerns the investments FTX made and the um, moving of funds towards Alameda Research or Alameda Investing, well, a lot of people were outraged on how could you do this and liquidity, etc. In reality, all of our banks work in the exact same way
yeah,
FTX does.
yeah.
The investments made in buildings and apartments and whatnot, that's something all of our banks do as well. The only reason why FTX crashed was naturally insolvency and
Bank
liquidity.
run. The bank run that occurred.
That's basically the problem which occurred. And it's something which can also happen with our traditional banks. Here in Belgium, we have Belfius, we have Paribas. And now that I'm mentioning that name, you guys here in Belgium and the Netherlands and France as well, do remember what happened with BNP Paribas a few years ago.
Yeah.
The very same thing occurred with them. How did they solve it? Well, they divided BNP Paribas into two entities. The bank, as we all know it, and to make use of it. The other one as an additional entity to pay off the debts of the mistakes they made. And that's practically the same thing which is happening with FTX and Alameda at this point. From a point of view from the banking system, FTX didn't really do anything wrong. The biggest mistake they made was to speculate way too much, get way too over leveraged, and crash down by reason they made plenty of debt. And the arrest of Sam Bankman-Fried has less to do with money laundering, but moreover as, look, this guy has had associations with a variety of threat-free financial institutions, and suddenly he can't pay up anymore. Now, if everything remained low-key, low-profile, nothing would have happened. But now they need a target, and sadly enough, Sam is right into the crosshairs. So do not be surprised that he will be walking out as an innocent man within a few months. By reason, where it concerns financial regulations and mechanism and laws, FTX worked decently. It worked as intended, like most threat-free financial systems. But as Stan said, it's the bank run which gave them a tremendous amount of debt. By reason, cryptocurrency isn't really like our fiat money. If there's not enough liquidity in a bank, the bank can start knocking on the government's door and say, look, we do not have enough circulating money. What should we do? The government can give the order to print more money. They do an agreement and they've got liquidity in excess. With cryptocurrency, that aspect doesn't work. They can do it with their native token, but at a certain point, they will start over leveraging. A reason with their stable coins most of the time, they can start printing more tokens and keep it as backing assets. But at that point, you've got a you have hyperinflation for said cryptocurrency. Whereas the others you are trading, the Bitcoin, the Ethereum, those are limited supplies, and those are the coins everyone wants. At that point, you are trading with paper Bitcoin and paper Ethereum, and the balance, which was like that, suddenly the other way, suddenly goes like that. You get insolvency, bankruptcy, and it's over. And then you have debt, and that's basically what I'm showing here, leverage. And before that, FTX was like this, and then it went like that. And now it's...
Yeah, and the second problem that we are having now after the train wreck that is called FTX is that numerous of companies used FTX as some sort of bank and their token and their inner workings. Talking about BlockFi, Celsius, Gemini had a big chunk in FTX. And even for the Netherlands, a big exchange in the Netherlands, Bitfavo, 280 million euros in insolvency because they were partly in FTX. I'm guessing they parked DCG. Some coins and tokens.
It was with DCG that they had some kind of bank run, but they were attached to FTX, and at that point, suddenly...
Yeah, but that's all linked together. I wouldn't be surprised if the FUD persevered and Binance would topple. I hope it doesn't happen. And if it does happen, Bitcoin will be on fire sale, I guarantee. But I wouldn't be surprised if another big exchange topples. The same happens. Smaller crypto firms integrating their services with bigger with bigger exchanges like DeFi, financial API platforms like we've seen
Mhm.
with Celsius, BlockFi. There's numbers of others that are in hot waters now and are very, very, very quiet. Talking about Nixo.
Yeah.
Nixo is one that exists for like 3-4 years. He gave a very high APY on USDT, BUSD, and USDC, I think. I think they gave 11 to 13% APY. They're all quiet now. There's no bank run on Nixo. They pay out every month. Everybody who wants to withdraw gets their money. But I don't know where they are tied to. Binance, Kraken, other
Hmm.
exchanges, but surely they are on exchanges with their big funds because they need to make profit to keep their clients paid. So something is in workings behind the scenes we do not see. Um, for crypto.com, yes, I believe they are tied to Binance because they have a staking program with coins and tokens too. And I think that is interlocked with Binance. For the card issuer, I can check that, but I think they use the same card issuer. I think,
I'm convinced of that part.
yeah,
By reason,
yeah,
Crypto.com was the very first to introduce the debit and credit cards, well, more or
one
less,
one of the first, yeah,
and they made it quite big. And I believe I saw it passing somewhere that Binance entered a certain service agreement with them in order to start producing all as well their very own cards, making use of the same platform from Crypto.com. It's like I mentioned before, they have a formal service agreement, and I know they do lend from each other when it concerns services. But yeah, the sharing of reserves, on the other hand,
yeah.
that's something which is quite dangerous and shaky.
Yeah, that's the problem. Eh? You don't know what kind of reserves they are sharing from each other. You see a lot of other platforms offer stake your token when you leave it in your wallet. And I know for some coins and tokens, you need to have like 5 million coins in one wallet before it starts staking.
Yep.
But you want your customers to stake right away, and you want to give that feature to your clients immediately. So how do you set that up? You make one giant pool together with some of your other exchange friends, and you can say to your clients, "Hey, you give me 10 coins, and you get 5% in staking right away, like on Polkadot, VeChain, all those proof of stake coins." On Binance, even on Kraken, I think on every big exchange, you can stake your coins. That means they have a very big pot of coins. I believe if you want to stake on Polkadot now, you need 500 dot for a nominator note or something. For VeChain, it's 250,000. Those are big numbers mostly, but if you have a very small client use base, you cannot do it on your own, or you have to have wealthy clients. Um, for crypto.com, I received a mail today for European users like myself and maybe Dimi, I don't know. They moved their card issuer to Malta.
Yep.
Um, what the big thing behind that will be in regulations, I need to check up on, but I will surely update you guys on a later episode involving this because I want to talk to some people before I make some suggestions or statements on that. But do note they moved their card issuer to Malta, and they said you can stop your card services before I think the 19th of January if you not agree with that move.
Yeah,
That
I'm
being
trying
said,
to look up the article.
yeah, I've got it in mail this afternoon, so would be
Yeah,
fast, I
there
think.
are a few other things that I also received through mail. Quickly taking a peek here at Crypto Potato, so I see the Paxful delist Ethereum, which we have spoken about. There's also the case of a big Bitcoin mining company,
Yeah.
which files for bankruptcy. So we might see a little drop in hash rate for Bitcoin, depending on what they're going to do with the repayments or the debts they have. If they're going to switch off the miners or do a simple sell-off, and that we might see a movement of hash rate once again towards the future. I'm going to quickly
Yeah,
share.
but that's something that's in the pipeline for the coming months. Minor capitulation.
Yeah, minor capitulation. It's mostly going to be the big ones like, well, what was it called? Core Scientific. Those guys, especially during the bear market, will see a drop in revenue naturally
Yeah.
by reason, well, they can't make as much profit, so it's only natural this is going to happen. However, the network remains decentralized. If you've got a miner at home, it well becomes just a case of seeing which is the most profitable pool to get into, and that's basically it.
Also, if those big mining companies fail, they flood the market with cheap ASIC miners. We can all buy up the cheap ASIC miners, and we can mine ourselves, so it gets more decentralized. Um, I'm not opposed to big companies mining Bitcoin. I'm opposed of three big companies having all the hash rate of Bitcoin. That means decentralization goes out the door, and
Indeed.
it needs to be more decentralized, because if they can reach an agreement with each other and they get that 51%, they can do so shady things with Bitcoin, and we don't want that, of course.
That's one of the reasons why I mentioned earlier that I want to see a crypto market being as decentralized and as distributed as possible, and hence my almost natural rejection of Binance, of them being the biggest exchange. It gives them way too much power to leverage the market. By reason, decentralization and distribution does not only isn't only limited towards the network of native cryptocurrency, but it goes as well to the distribution of said coins, meaning they maintain much more value the more people are invested in crypto. Or in the case of Bitcoin, the more people are holding Bitcoin in self custody. The second, a lot of people say, yeah, but we keep it on an exchange, a centralized exchange. And I say, yeah, and well, the majority keeps it on, as in this example with Binance. At that point, you are giving Binance a lot of leverage over the market by reason, simple saying, which we have been repeating since early 2020 when we did our very first live streams.
Yeah.
Kept on an exchange means not your keys, not your coins. Simple as that. All coins currently on Binance, even though there is an IOU from Binance within your very own profile, in reality, those coins belong to Binance and they can do whatever the F they want.
Yeah.
That's with
It's
my
like
natural
it's like
confirmation.
parking your car in somebody else's garage and hanging the keys on the wall and walking away.
Indeed, you may have a little piece of paper that says, "This is my car," but the other guy has your actual car and the actual keys, and he doesn't need to give a D about some piece of paper
Yeah.
that you are holding. Simple as that.
What we are seeing now is more and more people are talking about moving to decentralized exchanges.
Good move.
Um, Good move, thank you. No, but that's what we see now. More and more people are moving towards decentralized exchanges. Um, Problem with the decentralized exchanges at this moment is it's for 90% for the tokens to switch and swap and do whatever. In 2016, 2018, there were some decentralized exchanges that swapped coins, but they went belly up because it was way easier to connect and use normal centralized exchanges. In near future, we're going to see those old ones coming back, or there will be more like normal DEX exchanges, but you can log in with other sorts of wallets. Orion Protocol, that's something we need to check out. But like we see people now moving way more to decentralized Web3 wallets connecting to decentralized exchanges. In near future, if some big other exchange falls, the FUD and the panic will be way higher, and more people would hopefully learn their lesson. Keep your coins away from the exchange. Just move your funds over there, do your exchange, and take them back to your cold wallet, your hardware wallet, your paper wallet, your iron wallet, your written in stone wallet. I don't care, but keep them off those exchanges. In the
Yeah,
beginning of this year,
I
we did a
wouldn't do
Dutch
paper
episode.
wallets, to
No,
be honest.
I know people who have a paper wallet. Actually, you do have a paper wallet,
Yeah, if you
because
withdraw from a Bitcoin ATM, I know you've got a paper wallet, but
no, not only that, but when you have a hardware wallet, probably when you set up your hardware wallet, you need to write down 24 words or
yeah,
32
okay. In
words.
that case, yeah.
Then you have a paper wallet. So you automatically always have a paper wallet and an hardware wallet because you need to write down those words or type it down or chisel it into rock. I don't care, but please do diligence. Keep your own coins. People who start out in crypto make stupid mistakes. Don't be the starter that makes the stupid mistakes. I see Yeshi Happy Adventures, and I think I know who that one is. Orion Protocol Dix. I have to check that one out because I think I know that one, but it has been a long time. But thank you for the tip, mate.
Orion Protocol, it might be the case I've done an analysis with them for Crypto Bull. To be honest, I've done plenty of live stream analysis with my Crypto Bull live streams, but I'm going to be honest, a greater part of them, I've actually forgotten what I've said, and I need to quickly rewatch my research. By reason, I've got a quite big brain, but I can't retain everything. And well, things change naturally, but it might be the case I've done Orion Protocol in the past. Just don't ask me anymore what they do or what their logo is, because it will be some time ago already. The only noteworthy ones that I do retain, I tend to be part of the community. So, reason I cannot quite remember it might imply I wasn't all too impressed with them. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I know which one it is. Yeah, I used it before, some time ago. It's a nice platform to use, and I suggest people look at it. But I see it solely for Ethereum, Binance Smart Chain, OKX, Mainnet, Polygon, and Phantom. So for true coins to trade on the alternative DEX exchanges, that's going to come back. I guarantee. I know Byrake was one of those old ones, and I used it. It was also a pain in the ass to connect with, and that was the reason it didn't work at that moment.
yeah, Bancor is also one of the oldest DeFi exchanges, and I know there's quite a lot of people saying, "Yeah, they're bad. They're not all too good." I don't want to be a Pia or pain in the ass, but they've been around since I think about as early as 2016. They are still around as a DeFi platform. It's definitely one of the more trustworthy. However, I do know that the amount of tokens and coins you can trade with them is quite limited. It's limited towards the top coins and a few others which are noteworthy, but yeah, they are not as extensive as other more recent decentralized exchanges I've seen. To be honest, it has been some time that I've taken a look at all coins and tokens they have, but I do know, well, they're quite decent, still operational, etc. Was there something else? Yeah. I'm going to head slightly straight back over towards the Binance FUD and with another aspect towards the FTX crash. One of the major things people want to see Sam Bankman-Fried locked up has to do with his movements towards the SEC or the government, the Securities and Thingy Commission there, whereby he was trying to influence regulations in favor of FTX. Naturally, it's a business move. However, plenty of people naturally saw this as a little insult towards the idea of cryptocurrency and its decentralization in total. And while a lot of people are saying, and you guys do not need to lie in my face because I've seen plenty of tweets passing by, whereby they said, look, regulations are going to be needed in the cryptocurrency market, whereas I myself am naturally a toxic Bitcoin maximalist, whereby I say it isn't really necessary if you guys simply get educated. However, concerning FTX, Sam Bankman-Fried had connections with the SEC, with Gary Gensler. There were some meetings going on in order to influence regulations. And as a result, a lot of people said, now we have more trust in Binance and a few other exchanges because they are decentralized. Now, do keep in mind what I just said, because Binance has a little advisory board. September 22nd, 2022, this article. And now I want you guys to slowly read this. Who makes up their advisory board? Max Bocuse from the USA, former US ambassador to the People's Republic of China, former US Senator Montana, former chairman of Senate Committee on Finance, meaning he has direct links towards politics in the US. Ibukun Awozaki in Nigeria, first female chairman from the First Bank of Nigeria, chairman Nigerian Advisory Board for Impact Investing Convention on Business Integrity, member of the G7 International Task Force to Impact Investing, author of several books, meaning she makes part of the G7 International Task Force concerning worldwide regulations on finance. You've got Hyung-Rin Bang, advisor of the Korea Presidential Committee. So that's immediately government towards Korea. PR Communications advisor Sun Yuk's presidential campaign. Okay. Former CEO of Softforum Incorporated. Don't know exactly what that is. Former executive director Hyundai. Former executive director Samsung. So those are also two big tech giants. And if I'm not mistaken, that's involved with Samsung and Hyundai, quite renowned electronic producers. Think mining stuff, and you can see where the influence comes from. France, managing partner at Cabai Capital, former economic advisor to the French Prime Minister, so still political ties. Former head of the French Treasury, former CEO of the French government shareholding agency. The list goes on. You got even here Lord Vasey, member of House of Lords, former minister and member of parliament. And that's a big one. David Wright at the end, the chair of the Euro Finance, former secretary of ESCO, former European Commission, and he still currently is Deputy Director General Financial Markets in the European Commission. The entire advisory board here is consists of high-ranking bankers and influencers to the financial aspects of government. Now, a lot of people might be pointing at Sam Bankman-Fried colluding with the SEC. This is the roster of the advisory board from Binance, and I'm immediately going to say it is none the better. Just another reason why I'm always distrustful of centralized exchanges, and especially Binance, because I seldom see, such an advisory board consisting of so much high-ranking profiles. Now, I know others, such as Coinbase, also have quite a few high-ranking ones, but this one, well, it's really to top it off, I'm going to say.
But if you look at it this way, who do you want to have on your advisory board when you want to disrupt the economic regulations? Who do you want to have on your board?
Well,
These are the people you want to have your back when these regulations are going to drop. So,
I see it the other way around. It's not so much about disrupting, it's about running a business. And what they are doing is saying, look, we don't really care about the cryptocurrency market. We want our business to remain viable. And we want it connected towards a trade fee market so that we can make higher profits. That's basically what this advisory board is doing. It's not so much that they care about the idea of cryptocurrency, of disrupting the system. It's more about how can we make it compliant and make money on the side. And FTX and some Bankman Fried tried it. Binance does it as well with just other people.
no, they
That's
do
what
it
it comes
all.
down to.
Something else. We said at the end of this show, we are going to do a giveaway of tokens. I give everybody that is looking right now, post a name in the comment section. And I'll put your name in the wheel of winnings. So if you don't do that in about 5 minutes, you won't be eligible to win something. So chop chop, and we move on with Binance and the FUD.
Well, actually, most of the FUD we have nicely covered. I know there are plenty of other things
Uh,
that can be shared, but yeah, I did on my social media a little thread about it. If you simply look up, my name here on Twitter together with the Binance hashtag, you will automatically find it, and you will see a more extensive getting thread about the variety of Binance FUD I'm making, but well, it's substantiated. It has direct links and evidence. So just to say, and I'm going to rehash it here once again, I'm not fudding by reason short Binance and see it collapse. No, I want to make people aware to not trust um, centralized exchanges at all. By reason, I see a counterreaction where people are simply upholding Binance as the holy grail, as the one thing that that is as clean as it can be. Whereas I'm withholding the position Binance is probably also one of the worser exchanges where it concerns business-wise. They only go about slightly better than the other ones. And the fact that they are much bigger and have a variety of mechanisms which make them more or less no, I'm going to say it makes them more fail-proof, doesn't really mean that they are fail-proof and better. So that's basically the gist I'm getting at here. So yeah, at this point, I do not immediately have something else to add, another aspect concerning Binance FUD or other news. Stan, if you have something, otherwise I would say, like Stan mentioned, you guys got a few minutes left to drop your names in the comment in order to be selected in our little draw, and you might win a little giveaway prize from us.
yes, and at this moment, Nico is going to win everything.
Lucky, lucky.
Yeah.
I hope Yeshi Happy Adventures has links towards your social so we can more easily reach you out.
I know who he
To
is. I
you.
know who he is.
Okay.
Is somebody you everybody knows, but he doesn't.
Oh, it's him. Okay.
Oh man, it has been boring times, man. The last 3 4 months, except for those crashes and that FUD with the exchanges.
Well,
And I'm missing the bear market sentiment when it goes down and down and more down, and we're going no, no, even more than it's just it's nothing. There's
well,
nothing happening, and
to be
that's
honest, I prefer current market conditions when compared towards the bull market where we were in, and that we were being hijacked every 5 minutes by some effing Dogecoin ripoff because we were getting quite pissed at the end.
yeah, but yeah, you didn't have to be a brainiac to make money in that bull run we had. We were very much spoiled. If you're looking to this bull run, went up very fast and two tops. So the people who were too lazy to buy the top at the first time could have sold at the second top. So yeah, but this is just I'm looking for an entry point for some coins and some tokens and Bitcoin, and
Well,
I'm thinking so a lot of people are yelling, "Oh, it's below 20K, and now it's the entry point." If you look to years before, right before Corona, a dip, zack, jack, and back up. That was a dip you should have bought in.
which I
Uh,
did.
yeah, you were a lucky one because you were awake at that time, probably. But the years before, right before a bull run, there's always a bigger dip. And I don't know if that one is going to come because we have been beaten down so hard with Luna. We have been beaten hard by FTX. Now we're beating hard by everything that crashes behind FTX. I'm guessing China is going to ban crypto again for the 60th time or something now, because
That's the bottom
I'm,
signal.
I'm missing I'm missing China that is banning everything. I really miss them now because yeah, something needs to happen because if you look at the cycle times for Bitcoin, and that's the cycles, I'm guessing that will re-happen every time.
Mhm.
The bear market is only halfway
Yeah,
in
more or
time.
less.
So this means we should have been in super fun, happy downlands already, but I don't know. I really don't know. Um, in the bear market of 2018, I had a lot of fun scoping out little projects, those that were still alive, buying them up, see them they accumulate, selling them off, and that was some sort of dynamic. The crap was dead, and the good projects stayed alive and were doing something. Now, half the crap is dead and the other half is still alive, and the good projects that are doing something aren't getting any attention because everybody is buying photos with a monkey on it.
The NFTs,
I
right?
fucking sorry I have to say, but I hate those NFTs with monkeys and some that has nothing to do with crypto. That's just speculating on an ugly
Well,
picture.
luckily the NFT hype has died down a little. However, I'm pretty sure in the next bull run of 2024, they will make a heavy return and probably other collections as well.
Yep.
And I'm going to rehearse basic here where it concerns NFTs. NFTs get their value from the asset backing them. So the Bored Ape Yacht Clubs and Millionaire, the Bored Ape Yacht Club, Billionaire Apes, and whatever, they've all been minted on Ethereum. Ethereum saw a tremendous crash in value. However, the very second the bull run regains some power and we see Ethereum heading back up towards 4 or even 5K, you will see that NFTs suddenly become much more interesting again. By reason the assets backing them are once again increasing in price, it also means that the NFTs themselves become a much more interesting speculative asset. And so that will be once again back in full swing. Considering current market state, I might even say, well, I've been on the down low, been DCAing Bitcoin ever since it went below the 20K zone. Before that, I thought, as most did, that the 30 to 40K zone for Bitcoin was a more or less stable zone. I expected some downward movement. However, I did not expect it to have a little drop towards sub 20K levels. However, sub 20K levels, we are underneath the all-time high of 2018. That's a very good moment to DCA your Bitcoin. And
Yep.
people will say, yeah, but it will still go much more down towards 10 or 11K. Whereas my answer is that might be the case, but at a certain point in time, you need to start buying in and not start hoping it will fall lower before I start buying in. No. You set your goals, you look at how the market
Yep.
is performing, and at a certain level, you simply start DCAing. I see plenty of people saying, I'm only going to start when it falls once again underneath 15K. Well, I'm not entirely sure if it will happen. It can happen, but I'm not sure if it will.
If it follows the normal cycles, you have one more event that does a very big drop, but I'm not going to put my hand into the fire and say that will happen. It happened before, but it can skip this time. You'd never know. Adoption is greater than all the years before. Bitcoin, the audience is growing. The name is growing. People are heard more of crypto and Bitcoin. So those cycles are going to be suppressed more. The volatility is going to be less and less normally if nothing crashes like an exchange. But it is evolving. So it could be that we don't have a kind of event like I talked to before. Nico, if you hear me, send me a DM on Telegram. I'll send you the tokens.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. You were a very strong contender and you did your best. BSC address, please. Telegram in DM. I'll send you 100 swap tokens from SafeSwap Online. A decentralized platform where you can exchange your tokens on Ethereum, BSC, Polygon, Tronix, and all the other ones. So, Beard mentioned the name again.
Yeah, and if you've got a Ravencoin asset-aware address, I'm willing to send you as well 50 NFT tokens from the Ravencoin network, which are called Thumbs Up Token. It's literally an NFT going. So yeah, if you put it on DM, your asset-aware Ravencoin, you will see some Thumbs Up tokens going your way as well.
And I think we've reached the end of the episode. It's been an hour and 15 minutes. I would like to thank everybody who watched this year and see our transitioning from Dutch to English. It's not perfect, but it is what it is, I would say. And I wish you guys all the best and a splendid crypto new year and best wishes from me.
From my part as well, we made a transition towards an English show, and as some have noticed in the last 2 episodes, we are doing more effort to make these live streams much more fun for you guys with unique thumbnails. So I've decided to stop posting the bored, simple Crypthusiasts for each episode with a special theme. I will make a special thumbnail. Well, naturally to drive more traction, but also to have a good laugh. Each and every thumbnail from this show on will always have a little punch, spicy aspect to it. See if you can spot them. With that, we're indeed going to end the live stream. So
Yes.
for my part, thank you all for watching, and up until next time. And naturally, have a good Christmas. I'm not going to say holidays, and naturally, an end of year festivities with friends and families. So once again, thank you guys, and up until next year.